Hello everybody, this is Seth Pavelski, and today we're talking about who killed John Lang. John Lang was a 51-year-old man from Fresno. His story begins in 2009. According to him, he uncovered a license plate scanning scam that the Fresno PD have been doing. They would scan license plates at retail store parking lots, and after collecting hits of violations, they would pull the drivers over a few blocks away from the stores, acting as if they just simply crossed the vehicle while patrolling. John created a website called jodymurray.com where he would explain more about how this scam works. John's story had even made it on the local Fresno news. On jodymurray.com, he would say this: "I was ticketed 2 blocks away from Home Depot on West Shawn in Fresno. I later learned that Fresno law enforcement had a pattern of practice of unethically scanning license plates on private retail parking lots. They then pulled unexpected drivers over a block or two away from said parking lots. This was meant to optimize ticket revenue as a very minimal expense." So far, in my opinion, it looks like this is actually true and John isn't just making up some story. The reason that he gave on why the cops are doing this makes sense to me, and the fact that his story was also on the news makes his story have more credibility. But let's continue to the story. "The added financial stress related to the incident crippled what was left in my marriage. I was devastated, angry, and upset. I thought the parking lot license plate scam was abusive and simply designed as a revenue-generating scheme for the city of Fresno. So as a peaceful protest, I voiced my opinion on the Fresno Bee, which I now realized was a mistake. I thought I was anonymous, but an employee at the Fresno Bee, Jody Murray, was feeding a known sheriff sergeant who used the analysis Hiker Dude 67, our Hiker Dude 1967, website log data containing identifiable IP addresses. With this information, Fresno LE used to track down Fresno citizens who were posting comments critical of Fresno LE are the city of Fresno. Preliminary identification identifies Hiker Dude 1967 as Jared L. McCormick, a Fresno County Sheriff Sergeant." Okay, so John ended up telling a news site with the name Fresno Bee about the scam that had been going on, but it turns out that that news website just so happens to be associated with Fresno PD, and a lady that was working with Fresno Bee ended up giving John's information to the police. After that, John reported some suspicious activity from outside of his house, so he ended up getting a few security cameras for his house. John created a YouTube channel where he would post the footage from these cameras. The channel name is Lane Marine, and it's still up to this day. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. John uploaded a total of 17 videos on this channel. The first video being uploaded March 21st, 2015, with the name Fresno LE Harassment, Ford crew cab that stalked me at my residence numerous times. In this video, you see people that are in John's front yard, but it doesn't really look like they're stalking him. It just looks like they're cutting his grass. John posted another video of a man looking inside of his backyard, getting on a phone call, and then leaving. I mean, I can see how John could look at this as suspicious, but you never know, he could have just liked his backyard. Also, I'm pretty sure John had a dog as well, so the guy could have just been looking at the dog. John uploaded another video of a garbage truck on January 15th, 2016. In this video, you see the garbage truck slowly driving past John's house, stopping for a minute before continuing. In the description of this video, John would say, "Sorry to bother you again, but this is urgent. This video shows Fresno garbage trucks stopping in front of my house briefly. Yeah, I have no can out this morning." This incident was preceded by 2 marked Fresno PD cruisers. I believe the truck stopped in front of my house to generate a GPS tracking signal that would imply Fresno garbage trucks picked up my garbage. Because Fresno PD planned to plant some of my ex-wife's stolen purse items in my garbage can. Why is this significant? Because when my ex-wife called me telling me her purse was stolen on January 5th, 2016, we discussed the incident. She stated she was going to go around her neighborhood and see if any stolen purse items were in the neighbor's garbage can. John thought that the police were framing him for stealing his ex-wife's purse, and he thought that they were doing this by putting her purse inside of his trash can while she was going through the neighborhood looking through trash cans for her purse. I'm not gonna lie, he does look schizophrenic and paranoid right now, but after these next few videos, I was convinced that everything he's been talking about is true. On January 22nd, 2015, my security light above my driveway burnt out, and some guy entered my property at about 4:45 a.m. Luckily, I had my 2 vehicles locked, so I wasn't able to get into my vehicles. He possibly had a thin light beard and a goatee. He also might be an associate of George and Maxine Ramirez, who live right next to me. If anyone recognizes this guy, please let me know. He likely lives in the South Tower area, which is where I live. Following this video, he would upload another video titled Fresno PD Harassment and Intimidation. In this video, there are like 4 different cop cars with 10 plus officers staring directly at his house. Why they were all there at the exact same time is still unknown, and it's also still unknown why they were staring at John's house, but that had to have been like an entire police department over there. John would post a 3rd video called Thermal Imaging Threat and Intimidation by Fresno Law Enforcement. In the caption of this video, he would say, "This is the same Fresno, California sheriff crew that has been illegally entering my property and home when I leave my house. Here they are using an infrared thermal imager to see if I'm home. They then phone a waiting second party with information as to whether I'm home or not. Fresno PD fails to fully investigate my complaint on this incident, which I fully detailed in my Fresno PD internal affairs complaint. If anyone can identify any of the Fresno sheriff personnel in this video, please follow their names." So somebody in a van was recording John's house with a $30,000 thermal camera. Again, nobody knows why they were recording his house, and the Fresno police never got back with him after he complained about it. The last video on this channel is called Carpet Cleaning Van 656 Van Ness Avenue, Fresno, CA today. It was uploaded January 16th, 2016, only 4 days before John was found dead. In the caption of this video, it says, "If I turn up missing or dead tomorrow, remember this van. I think I seen a couple of guys sneak out the side door and into a building when it was parked in the Capert this afternoon. I've been causing the city of Fresno a lot of problems recently, which I now regret."
Suspicious death of a Central Fresno man has now been deemed a suicide. 51-year-old John Lang was found barricaded inside his burning home with stab wounds back in January. He later died at a hospital. Investigators called his death suspicious because it appeared someone intentionally set the fire at the Van Ness home. The coroner later determined the wounds were self-inflicted.
John Paul Lang was pronounced dead January 20th, 2016. He was found with 4 stab wounds in his chest and his house was on fire. It was deemed a suicide, but if you look at the autopsy, there were 2 Fresno police officers there at the same time that it was pronounced a suicide. Also, it said that his house caught on fire after he was stabbed, which I don't think somebody could stab themselves 3 times in the chest and then set their house on fire. John's YouTube channel got thousands of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views by people who were interested in the story. But the video that got the most attention was the one he posted right before he died. Viewers began to look into the company that was on the side of the van. They found a website for the company with no reviews. The website was also created the day the video was posted. So if the website had no reviews and was created the day that they were out doing their job, how did anybody find them? There's more though. Viewers also found their company in the small business database. And if you looked up their address in Google Maps, it would take you to some random school. So they didn't have an address or building. They didn't have any ratings on their website. I'm really confused on how anybody found this company. But that was the story of John Lang. This has been Speedy Green Fox. Have a great rest of your day and or night.
In case someone is sending word magic your way, the best thing you could do is roll yourself a fat blunt and don't listen to that bitch.